Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kelvin Johnson. In this Windows 11 tutorials Inside Out Part 6, I'll be discussing about installing and configuring modern apps and desktop apps in Windows 11. So in this training, I'm going to discuss about what a modern app is all about. We're going to be looking at the Microsoft Store and check how to buy an app if we actually want to buy one. We're also going to be installing an app if the app is not functioning very well, and also we're going to be resetting a modern app. We're also going to be talking about how to manage a line of business apps and apps which are actually included with Windows 10. So we'll be installing, running and managing desktop apps, running desktop application as an administrator or another user. We're also going to be discussing about the task manager. How can we actually terminate a program using the task manager? How can we actually allow an app to actually start with our device, or how we can remove this app from the start menu? We're also going to be setting our default programs and file type association, and then I'll be discussing about how to set autoplay options in Windows 11. So this is actually a lot of information we're going to be discussing about modern apps in Windows 11. So first of all, what is a modern app in Windows 10 or Windows 11? A Windows modern app is a new type of application that runs from Windows 8, Windows 10, and now also Windows 11 PCs and tablets, compared to your traditional desktop or classic apps. So the modern apps have some very important characteristics, which of course can be classified this app as a modern app. One, it has to have a tiles. Each app gets a tile which can be displayed on a start or not as you choose to work with this app. To add an app to start, press the Windows key. For example, let me go to my start menu. Here we have all the different apps. So if I go to all apps, so here you can see we have, for example, I have the camera. So if I right click on the camera, you can see I have the option to actually pin this app to the start menu. So let me just pin that. And also if I scroll down again, I can see we have, for example, we have the groove music. I can decide to actually pin this app to the start menu as well. So if I go back, here you can see we have our app. Let me just scroll down here. You can see we have our app which has just been pinned to the start menu. So I can actually decide to right click and then move this up, right click and move up. So let me just scroll up again, and you can see we have both of our apps here, which is called the groove and music and the camera. And again, the modern apps have to have a live tiles. So the tiles can be actually programmed to update dynamically when they are displayed on start. That is, they can become live tiles. So live tiles, for example, can display news headlines, cycle through a set of photos, show calendar information, and so on. A modern app has to also have notification and alert. So app can trigger notification and alert. To take one example, your calendar app can display appointment information on your lock screen and issue reminders at the appropriate time. So this classifies your calendar as a modern app in Windows 10 or Windows 11. So easy, and the app should be easy to share between both apps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually leave the characteristics in the description of this video. So we have different characteristics which actually makes a modern app a modern app. So I'm going to leave these characteristics in the description of this video, so you can see some of the other descriptions characteristics we have for a modern apps. So now let me go to the Microsoft Store and see what apps we have there. So if I go to my start menu, and here I can actually search for store, and then just click on here. You can see the app is already on my start menu. So let me just go back again to my start menu, and here we need to actually just see, okay, here we have the Microsoft Store. So let me just click on the Microsoft Store. And you can see I'm already logged onto the Microsoft Store with my account. So but if you have not logged on, you don't actually need to log on to Microsoft Store to be able to download a specific app. So here, if you want to actually download an app, you can actually scroll down, or just scroll down to see if the app is available among all the list of app you want to download. You can see we have thousands of hundreds of apps available in Microsoft Store, but we can actually search for that apps. And for example, let me just search for WhatsApp. You can see I have the WhatsApp desktop. So if I click on it, just click on the app, and you can see the app is actually free, so I don't need to pay for this app. So we have some apps which are actually not free, so you need to pay for it. So I can just click install. So by installing the WhatsApp app desktop, so I'll be able to use WhatsApp on my device, not only on my telephone. So which means that you can actually call from your desktop device using WhatsApp, and not only from your telephone, but it's also going to ring on your telephone, but you can pick it up on your Windows desktop computer. So while this is actually being downloaded, let me go to application. You can see here we have the Netflix, Spotify, and some other apps which have been displayed here. But if I scroll down, you can see we have different applications which we can actually download for free, or some of them we can actually buy. For example, it says the Adobe Photoshop element we have to buy. You can see that my WhatsApp desktop has just been launched. I can actually pin to start, which has been pinned to my start menu, so I'm going to check it out later. But right now you can see that we have a lot of apps which are free, and some of them you have to pay for it. If I go to gaming, you can see here we have all the different kinds of games. Here also we have some games which are also free, and some games which you need to pay for it. But here, if you are looking for a specific game, just type the game you are looking for, and then the game will display. But you can actually search, and if for example I want to, let me just search for adventure and put free. So it's going to actually gives me some options of this. You can see that everything I'm receiving right now is free, and if I scroll down, you can see that I'm not seeing any app that I'm seeing when I need to pay for. But the upmost apps I receive are all free. So if you want to actually look for a free app, the best way is to add free to it, which gives you the free, which of course is going to display more free apps to you than the ones you are going to pay for. So let me go back again to my application. Let me just cancel that. Okay, let me just close that. And if for example we see an app and we think we want to buy that app, let me just say, so here I have an HD Movie Maker Pro. So we can decide to click on this app, and you can see that it says the price is about €14.99. So we can decide to just click on that. So it's going to actually ask me to enter my credentials. You can see first of all I will need to enter my PIN. And then you can see that it's actually trying to link my credit card to this app. Why? Because I've signed in with my name, and my name is actually I have a credit card which is linked to Microsoft, because I have some product that I paid I think yearly with Microsoft, and they have my credit card information. So they actually want to link this credit card information to that this purchase I'm trying to do to my credit card. So which means if I click buy, automatically I'm going to they're going to withdraw this amount of money from my account. I'm not going to buy this right now. Let me just click cancel. So they're going to actually take that amount from my account, and the software will be available for me to be installed on this device. So sometimes after you've installed an app, for example I just installed the WhatsApp, let me go to my start menu. And if I go to my start menu, and I will need to just go down, because definitely you can see we have WhatsApp here. So let me just open WhatsApp. So after opening WhatsApp, definitely you want to link WhatsApp to your device, but I'm not going to do that right now. So sometimes you've installed an application and then you want to uninstall this app. So what you need to do is, so if I go to let me go to my start menu, and here I will go to settings. So in settings we need to go to apps, And here we have the option apps and features. So in apps and features, you can see we have all the different apps. Well, here you can see 50 apps we have found. So, but probably if you want to, you can actually scroll down and see if you have the apps you want to remove. For example, here's the WhatsApp. But if I want to actually uninstall an app and I have hundreds of apps, what I need to do is I'll need to search for that app. You can see when I type WhatsApp, it gives me one option, which is WhatsApp. So what I need to do to uninstall this app, here we have the three dots. Just click on that, and you can see we have the advanced option, we have the move, and we have uninstall. So when I click uninstall, say this app and its related info will be uninstalled. So just click uninstall, and the app will try to uninstall from your device. You can see that it says we could not find anything to show here. So which means that this app has just been uninstalled. If I go to my start menu again, and let me just go down and see, you can see that the WhatsApp app have just been uninstalled from my device. But sometimes you may have an app that is not working very well, and you don't want to actually uninstall that app, but you want to actually, you may need to reset that app to actually solve some specific issues. So let me go back again to apps, and let me click apps and features. Here we have the different apps. So for example, I have let me just look for an app. I have the app Instagram, and I don't want to actually uninstall Instagram, but I'm having some issue because Instagram keeps crashing, or it keeps freezing, or it's not working very well. So what I need to do is I'll go to the three dot options here, and we have the move, uninstall, and we have the advanced options. So click on advanced options. And in the advanced option, you can see here we have the advanced option for Instagram. So we have the specification. It's going to tell you the version of the Instagram that's installed on this desktop. And here we have some background app permission. So we have the option called reset. So we can repair, we can reset. I also have the option to actually uninstall these Instagram apps from this device. You can see it says uninstall this app and it's setting. But what I want to do is because this app is not working very well, I don't want to uninstall this app. I want to actually reset these apps. So what I need to do is I need to actually just click reset, and it says this will permanently delete the app data on this device, including your preferences and sign-in details. So if you sign into Instagram, it's going to actually log you out and reset your preferences. So let me just click reset, and you can see it's trying to reset the app, and it says the app has been reset successfully. But sometimes you may also want to repair this app. So by trying to repair the app, you see it says it has been repaired. It actually tries to go back again to the Microsoft Store and try to re-download the app and see if there's any update, but probably there's no update. That's why it goes very fast. So if there's any update, it will actually download that update and actually install it on your device. So let me close this, and also let me leave the Microsoft Store, go to my applications. So we have what is called the line of business apps. So if you work for a company, your company admin can actually develop a line of business app for use within your organization. Such app can be deployed either through a private business store managed and deployed by Microsoft Store, or through a process which is called side loading. So the process of distributing a Windows 11 app through a private store requires that your business environment have an Azure Active Directory account for each user in that organization that will be using the private store. So actually, their private store can also be configured using group. I'm not going to show you that actually in this video. I'm going to create a different video on how to configure the private store, because it's going to take some time. The private store and the line of business apps for enterprise environment. And also we have some apps which are actually included in Windows 11 standard. These apps are actually included in Windows 10. But for Windows 11, Microsoft also added some new apps which are actually included in this Windows 11. So if I go to my start menu here, and I go to all apps, you can see we have all the different apps which are actually included here. You see we have them from A to Z. So if I scroll down a little bit, you can see we have the what we call the snip and sketch. That's actually new for Windows 11. It's also actually in Windows 10, but it has actually been modified in Windows 11. You can see the Spotify was actually, I didn't install a Spotify. This was actually installed automatically. And also, if I go to my, you can see I have Instagram, which was also displayed. If I go to, let me go back again to my start menu. Here you can see we have the Netflix, we have our Instagram, we have our Spotify, and okay, the Groove Music, which of course these are all default apps in Windows 11. So let me just list some of the default apps which are actually included in Windows 11. So we have the alarm and clock. Of course, this has always been a default apps in Windows 8, Windows 10, and also Windows 11. We have our calculator, our calendar, our camera, our Connect, our Cortana, and also we have the feedback hub, the Get Help, the Groove Music, which is actually standard also for Windows 10. We have our mail, which you can use to configure and actually manage your email addresses. We have our maps, messaging, Microsoft Edge, OneDrive, and more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list all the default apps for Windows 11 in the description of this video, and also give some detailed explanation of what these apps do. So let me just close this and then close this in the Microsoft Store. So I want to discuss about the how to install, run, and manage desktop application. So with only few rare exceptions, Windows 11 supports almost all app desktop applications that are compatible with Windows 10. So if you upgrade your device from Windows 10 to Windows 11, or you upgrade from Windows 8.1 to Windows 10 and then to Windows 11, almost all your apps that have been working for Windows 10 will definitely work for Windows 11. But if you are upgrading from Windows 8.1 to Windows 11, there is no actually guarantee that all the apps from which you are using in Windows 8.1 may work in Windows 11. So you will need to actually contact the vendor of that apps or software. If you are using a kind of a specific software, contact the vendor to actually verify from them if you can upgrade your device to Windows 11, because sometimes if you upgrade your device to Windows 11 and you know after like 10 days you will not be able to downgrade back your device, and there you are with a software which you cannot use in Windows 11, and then you need to actually reinstall your device again to Windows 8.1 or Windows 10. So I will always advise you to contact your vendor the vendor of that software to check if you'll be able to use Windows 11 on that device. So, and also to run a specific program as an administrator, let me go to this location and show you where most of the apps are actually installed. So let me just open File Explorer, and then I'm going to enter the following. Enter local app data, and then we're going to enter package. Let me just select the packages. Here you can see we have all the different packages. You can see like the Get Help, the gaming app, the desktop app installer. We have the Bing weather. So we have all the different apps actually which are installed on your device. Actually, the packages are here. So if you delete one of this folder, I bet you the app will not function properly anymore. So I would advise you not to actually tamper with this app, except you are an IT professional and you know exactly what you are doing. Then you can actually tamper with one of this folder. But if you don't really know how to actually manage an apps or reset or install or configure an app using like PowerShell script and more, please do not modify these folders, because your app will stop working. And also sometimes you want to run a specific application as an administrator. So let me just close this. Let me close this. If I go to my start menu, and I have let me just say I have, for example, I want to open a specific app as an administrator like the Notepad. If I click run as administrator, you can see I'm receiving this user's account controller as a UAC, which of course I'm going to say yes. So which means that I'm logged onto this device as an admin, but sometimes there are some software or there's some program which actually requires you to open that application as an admin for you to use it. And also, for example, the command prompt, if I go to my start menu and search for the command prompt here. Let me pin this to my start menu as well. Okay, so if I start the command prompt as just as an ordinary user, sometimes there are some functions I may not be able to actually start or stop. For example, if I want to actually start the Windows services, I will not be able to start it just starting the command prompt as an ordinary user, despite the fact that I'm logged onto this device as an administrator. So what you need to do is you need to go to your start menu. And then here we have, okay, I think I already moved the CMD. Let me just move this up. So here we have the CMD, the command prompt. So I'm going to actually start this as an administrator. And then click yes. So by starting the command prompt as an administrator, if I type notepad right now, the notepad will be open as an administrator and not as an ordinary user of this device. So which means that if you open the command prompt as an administrator, every other program you open from this command prompt will be open as an admin. So for example, let me just try and open the registry as a registry. You can see when I open the registry editor, it's also open as an administrator, but despite the fact that I'm opening this from the command prompt. And if I go to my start menu and I just enter registry and I open the registry, you can see that the registry requires to be open as an administrator. If you open the registry without being an administrator, you will not be able to modify the registry. You can see that by opening it from the start menu, it actually requires me to the user's account control. And if I'm not logged onto this device as an admin, definitely I will need to enter my admin credentials. So I can just say yes. And here we have the registry, which of course it only opened once, but it's going to actually replace the registry editor that has already been opened. And also we can actually run a program as a different user. If for example I want to actually open a program, log on to this device as an ordinary user, and I want to open a program using a different name. So let me just try to open the run. Let me just start run. Let me just do this following. Okay, let me just start the run command. And here we have the run. So if I type the following here, let me just type run as, and then I'm going to enter my user's name, and then my user's name is going to be Kelvin. And then the program that I want to start, it will be Notepad. And then I'll click OK. So here it says enter the password for Kelvin. So I'm going to enter my password and then hit enter. And you can see that it's going to try to open the notepad. And here we go, we have the notepad open. So let me close this and then close this again. Close this. Let me close the task manager. So we can actually manage our program and process by using the task manager. You know, the task manager is a tool that serves two essential purposes. One, you can use it to track aspects of your system performance and to see what programs and processes are running. And you can also use it to terminate items when the normal shutdown method are not working. So if for example you have a program, it happens a lot if you have been using Windows for a very long time, or Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11, you will observe that sometimes there's some specific program that does not really want to close, or the program is freezing, or it does not want to shut down. So the best way to actually shut that program up is by using your task manager. So let me try to open let me just open Notepad, and then I'm also going to open registry. So here we have two programs that are open. So let's say for example I want to actually close the registry editor, but it's actually freezing and it does not allow me to close it. So the best way to do that is actually to open the task, to use your task manager, actually shut it down. So the best way to open your task manager is we can actually go to our search and then search for task manager. You can see we have the task manager here. but we can actually use the combination of our keyboard by entering Control, Shift, and Escape. That is the ESC. And here you can see we have the Task Manager opened. So by opening the Task Manager, you can see we have three apps which are running. We have the Notepad, Registry Editor, and we have the Task Manager. So if let me just unfold this, you can see these are the three programs that are running at this moment. So what we can do is just click on this program, that's the Registry Editor, and we have the option called End Task. So we can just click to end the task, and also I can decide to end the task of the Notepad, and you can see automatically I'm actually forcing that program to shut down, and that program will be shut down, just like the way I showed you in your app settings, whereby you can terminate the program. By terminating the program always also shuts down. So the Task Manager actually does more than just using it to terminate a program that's actually freezing or not responding. So let me go back again to my Start menu, and I need to open the Registry Editor. So I'll go to click yes. So if I open the Registry Editor, let me just minimize this. Now you can see that the Registry Editor here is open. So I can actually find more details, information about this Registry Editor. This actually helps a lot if, for example, you connect to a remote computer and you actually want to see which you want to see more details about that app that is actually causing the problem. You can go to details here. Here you can see we have the registry. Let me just expand this. You can see we have the registry, and you can see the registry is actually opened by me, and you can see the state is running, and I can actually see how many memory active is it using, and I can see it's a 64-bit architecture. I can see the description which it says is the Registry Editor, and the process ID of this Registry Editor is 66040. And here you can see that we have also the registry which is actually being used by the system, so which means that it's running behind the scene. It's being used by the system, and we have different, you can see all the different, the user's name. We have like the network service, we have the local service. So these are actually different system which are different account name which are actually using different apps. If let me just filter this by going filtering. You can see we have the system and we have the network, and if I scroll down you can see all the different apps which are actually running behind the scene, which of course they are all opened by me. But because I log onto this device, it's not that the programs are open physically, but because I log onto this device, definitely the programs are running behind the scene. Like we have the OneDrive, you can see the OneDrive is there running behind the scene, the runtime broker, and some other, like for example we have Explorer. Explorer is not open at the moment, but it's also running behind the scene. And if I go back again to here, we can go to service, and we have the option to actually, you can see we can actually start the service, or we can as well stop a service that is running. We can actually restart this service by just clicking restart. So there are some, it's not all service you can actually restart. Some service, if you try to restart the service, you receive the access denied because that service is actually being run by the system. And also if I go to app history, you can see we have the option app history here. You can see we have our app history. We have all the different apps here on my device, and also if you can see the CPU time of which this app were used, you can see the network bandwidth which has been used by this app. You can see like this app has been using 16.2 megabytes. Let me just filter this. You can see also the network, the meta network, they're all 0 because I'm not using a meta network on this device. And you can see tile update. You can see that how many, like Spotify has been updated. OneNote also has been updated just using 0.1 megabytes, and for the rest we don't have any tile update for any of this application. So here you can see the app history, and you can find some very good information about the app history. And also I can add some extra information. If I right click, for example, I click this tile update, I can add the non-meta network and also download, and we can add the upload. Here you can see we have some extra information, how many files have been downloaded. We have the upload, and also you can see we have the non-meta network. Of course, because I'm using my network at home, definitely here everything goes, everything are not paid network, not on a meta network, they're on a non-meta network. You can see how many of these have been used, which is the M megabyte, 16.2 megabyte and 22.6 megabyte. And also, if I go here, you can see we have the option called the startup. So at this moment, you can see we have some programs which actually start with my device. I just filter this with status. You can see we have the Cortana, we have the OneDrive, the VMware Tools Core Service, Windows Security Notification, and more. So, but I can actually disable, if for example, I don't want to use the Microsoft OneDrive, I can actually just disable it. You can see the OneDrive has been disabled, which means that next time it will not actually start with my device. At the moment it's still there, but if I restart my device, my OneDrive will not be started with my computer anymore, except I actually restart it. But I'm going to actually enable it. You have the option to actually enable it from here. Just click enable, and then you can see that it's now going to start with our device. But let me show you a different way in which you can add a program to startup menu. So for example, if I go to File Explorer here, and let me just enter the following. I'm going to enter Shell and then Startup. So if I go to Shell and Startup, you can see these are actually the programs which start with my device. So if I go to my Start menu, and let me just try to go to, let me see, I'm going to open a file location for the CMD. If I go to the file location, you can see we have a Snell coupling of this command prompt. So let me just copy this. I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to paste it actually here. Let me just paste it there. So by pasting it there, if I go back again to you can see now we have the command prompt there as well. So let me try a different one now. Let me just make this smaller, and then okay, I'm going to also let me just do it a different way. I want to open this, and then this I'm going to just put it at the center, and then I'm going to open a third. Let me go to my start menu and then look for the registry, and let's see if we can go to the file, open file location. So I'm going to actually make this also, I'm going to put this there. So here we have our three programs open side by side. So what I can do is I can actually just move this, and I'm going to copy it here, and let's see what happens. So by moving this registry editor here, you can see automatically the registry editor joins the startup program, and it's automatically enabled. So by doing this, automatically when I restart my device, the registry editor is going to actually start up with my device. So we can actually do this for all different programs. That gives you the opportunity to open the file location of that apps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just remove this from this location. Just click delete, and by deleting this, you can see automatically it deletes. But let me just show you one thing again right now. You see, when I try to delete this app, it doesn't give me any warning that if I want to delete this file. So let me just copy the registry editor again to this location and move it there. So let me go back to my desktop. You can see if I go to the recycle bin and I go to properties, and here we have the option. It says display delete confirmation dialog. So because this is not checked by default, when I try to delete a program, automatically I'm not receiving any confirmation. So when I check this, display delete confirmation dialog, click apply, click OK, and then when I try to delete, you see what happens when I try to delete. Press delete on my screen, and you can see now I'm receiving a kind of a confirmation which actually warns me that, are you sure that you want to move this shortcut to the recycle bin? Because me not doing this, automatically sometimes you may delete something by mistake and you really don't want to delete it, and you actually forget that it was deleted because maybe you are talking to someone and your hand just press the delete button on your keyboard. So now you can say yes, I want to delete, and you can see it's going to be deleted. So we have other ways which we can actually configure our startup programs. For example, we can use the registry. So let me try to open the registry editor from this location, and I'm going to say yes. And then if I go to the H key local machine, and here we go to the option called software, and in software we are actually interested in going to Microsoft, and in Microsoft we need to go to Windows, and in Windows then we need to go to the current version. Here we have the current version, and then we need to actually search for run. So here you can see we have the run, and actually by actually adding the data file or the location of a program to this location, it actually makes that program available for a startup for all users on that device. But we also have the key, for example, if I go back again to my host menu, we have for the current user, we can actually go for the key for the current user to actually change the way the software actually starts only for the current user that is logged on this device. I'm going to leave the key location on your registry in the description of this video as well. And also I'm also going to list the other method which we can use to actually start a program. For example, we can actually use a scheduled task. So if you're working in a company and you're an administrator, can actually schedule a task to start a specific app or a program. So there's for example, there are some programs you cannot change or delete or start yourself as an ordinary user, but an IT admin can actually make sure that he uses the task schedule from the server to actually start a program on your device and can actually change it or delete it at any time. So let me just close all this for the moment. Let me close this. Okay, so what I want to discuss next is about setting default programs and file type association. You know, when you actually launch a program, that program is bound to launch with using a specific file type or default file type association. But sometimes it also happens that let me just go to my settings and apps. It happens that when you try to open a file, an application, it did not actually open. You try to open with a different program. For example, you try to open a PDF document, it's actually being opened through Internet Explorer or Firefox, or trying to open a Word document and it's being opened with a different program entirely. So here we have the option called the default for file and link type and other defaults. So let's just click on that. You can see we have our set default for apps. At this moment, you can see we have all our apps. If I click calculator, you can see that the calculator is actually being configured to start with the URL, then double point calculator. So let me just click there. You can see how do you want to open this app? We can actually use the calculator, or we can actually change the program by going to the Microsoft Store to see if we have, because this is actually an app, to see if we have a different app which you can use to open this calculator. So let me go back again to my default apps. And if, for example, you are looking for a different way to open it, you just scroll down a little bit and you have different options. We have the options choose default app, choose default by file type, or choose default by link type. So we can actually reset by clicking reset, and everything will just be reset back to its default. If, for example, you have like a PDF which is actually is bound to open with like PDF 24 or Adobe PDF, by resetting it goes back again. If you, for example, the first configuration you did was Adobe PDF, it goes back to your default apps, which will be Adobe, or it's going to use like the Microsoft Edge to open your PDF editor. So here, if I click on choose default by file type, and you can see we have the different options again here for the different files which you can actually use to open. For example, I have the Paint. So if I click on Paint, you can see it says we have the option keep using this app, or we have more apps. So I can click on more apps, And here you can see we have more options here. But if you think the program is not among this list, we can look for another app on this device. So by looking for another app on this device, it will take you to a different location whereby you're going to search for that apps where the app is installed and use it to open that program. So let me just click cancel because everything seems to be fine with this device, and I'm doing this also on a virtual machine, not on a physical device. So you have this actually for different options. We have also the Windows Media Player. You can as well do the same and says, well, I want to go for more apps and choose a different. If you have a different apps or different program you think you want it to open with this option, then you can actually choose that. So let me go back again to my default apps, and let me just scroll down a little bit, and then just one moment. So here we have choose default app by link type. So here we can actually just search for the app. You can see we have the links. For example, the map is being opened by map. So it's applied. The same thing applies to this option we have with the Windows Explorer. You can just click on that, and you see it's taking us to say, okay, it wants to take us to Microsoft Store to give us a different option to be able to open this app. So let me close this for now. So, and also, if for example you want to turn off or turn on a Windows feature, Windows 11. So here I have control panel on my desktop. This is actually a shortcut which was configured on my desktop. So let me just double click on control panel. And by tapping control panel, you can see we have, let me just go to large, and let me select category. So under category, we can decide to actually search to uninstall a program. Let me just go to programs, and here under programs, let me click on programs and feature. You see we have the turn on Windows feature on or off. Let me go back into programs. You can see we have the turn Windows feature on or off, and I can click that, and you can see it gives me the option which says turn Windows feature on or off. So by looking at this, you can see we have some features which we are automatically installed on this device. If I scroll down, we have, for example, the media features. You can see we have the Windows Media Player, which of course we can uninstall that, but I'm not going to do that. So here we have, you can see we have the Windows PowerShell 2.0, and we have some other features which was actually installed on this device. So but what I can actually do is I can actually check and say, okay, I want to install a new feature. Let me just check. I say I want to install the data center bridging or the Hyper-V, for example. I will not be able to install Hyper-V on this device because this is a virtual machine. And we have, like, for example, the Internet Information Service. Let me just expand that. I'll say I want to install this. Automatically, you can see that the web management tool will be installed and the World Wide Web Service. And also I'll say, okay, I want to install an FTP server. So if I can click the plus sign, and we can see we have more options. So I can say, okay, let me just install the management service also, and here we have all this will be installed. So if I click OK, so it's going to actually request me, first of all, it's going to search for the required files and see if they are available for this Windows 11 device, and then it will require me and ask me to restart my device. So by after it has been configured, I will start my device to complete the installation. So let me just pause this video. You can see the changes have been applied. Let me just pause this video and come back again when I'm being asked to restart my device. So you can see it says Windows completed the requested change successfully, but at this moment, because of this change I made, does not request my device to restart. So definitely the device is not required to restart. So I'm just going to click close. I'm going to also close this. And also, lastly, what I want to discuss about setting autoplay options. You know, when you are using a device which is a USB device or a DVD, and you insert a DVD into your device or a CD player, automatically it started to play. So if I go to my start menu, and let me just move these settings to here, and I click on settings. So if I click on settings, then I want to go to Bluetooth and devices. So in Bluetooth and device, we have the option called autoplay. So by clicking on autoplay, you can see the autoplay for all medias and devices is actually on. So choose autoplay default. So say removable device and memory card. So we can actually choose a removable device. Say ask me every time. Open folder to view files, file explorer, or take no action. So at this moment it says we don't have any choice, but because I'm not using, my device does not have a CD drive, so what we can actually do is I will say ask me every time, and for memory card we can as well choose open folder to view, or we can say ask me or take no action. So I will be the one to actually trigger the autoplay for that device. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more IT videos. And if you think this video has been of any help to you, give me a thumb up for taking my time to create this video. And this is actually a Windows 11 tutorial inside out I'm doing. This is actually the part 6, and the part 7 I'll be discussing how to use and manage the built-in Windows apps. So if you've not watched the part 1 till this moment, try and go back again and watch the part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, and this is actually the part 6. So I'll be doing the part 7, which I'll be discussing about using and managing the built-in Windows apps. And please just click on the link below to watch the part 7 of this video. Thank you very much, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you have any question about Windows 11, you can send me a personal email or leave a comment in the comment section of this video, and I'll reply to you as quick as possible. I also have some other videos about Windows 11. You can check one of my videos, because maybe one of these videos can be of help to you on how to upgrade from Windows, for example, how to upgrade from Windows 8.1 to Windows 11, and how to also bypass the TPM 2.0, which is actually one of the required component of Windows 11. So if your device is actually configured with TPM 1.0, you will not be able to install Windows 11 on your device. But I created a video on how to bypass the TPM, so you can watch one of these videos, and it will actually help you out. Thank you very much, and see you next time.